Just Saying with Jasmine Cheyenne. And today I want to give you guys 5 effects of falling in love that nobody tells you. You don't figure out until the relationship or a serious relationship has long gone out of your life and you look back and you reflect upon it. And you're like, wow, I wish I knew these things. So 5 effects of falling in love that nobody tells you. Number 1, and I feel like this happens most often, is you might lose other relationships. When you're first in love, when you first fall in love, everything is like magical. Like nothing can go wrong. And that's because there's a chemical produced in our brain, and it's called dopamine and noradrenaline, which enhances our excitement and which causes us to prioritize based off of those chemicals that are produced in the brain. And so it's important to try to prioritize your time. You don't always want to be with your new love 24/7. You want to be able to still have time for your hobbies and other people and things like that. And number 2, it is actually, and this is something nobody really wants to talk about, like it's actually okay. Let me rephrase. It's not okay per se. It's actually normal for you to be completely in love and find other people attractive. Like the only problem is you don't seek their attention from other people. Like as far as if a fine dude walks down the street, like, okay, you looking good, all right. A bad bitch walk down the street, like, my dude is gonna glance, like, he's gonna look like it's just a natural, the way that we're wired, attraction. And so it's normal. Don't feel like, oh my God, I'm a bad person, I'm cheating, what was I thinking? You didn't do anything. Don't do anything is the key to number 2, though. All right, so it's just natural. Don't worry about that. And then, so number 3, you always have to compromise. Like when you start to fall in love, like this is like after the magical phase is done. Like after the magical phase is done, you really have to understand and get a better understanding of each other. So, you compromise things like what's for dinner. You compromise things like what TV show to watch. You compromise things like who gets in the shower first, depending on the work schedule, as long as they don't take all the hot water, right? Some of the things we compromise on. But so the word compromise, I do have to share with you guys my opinion, because I'm just saying with Jasmine Cheyenne, and I feel like you don't have to compromise everything. That word is such a two-edged sword almost, where it's like, okay, I have to compromise. You don't have to compromise everything. You don't have to compromise your values. You don't have to compromise your friends. You don't have to compromise your hobbies. Those are the things you don't compromise. What's for dinner, all those other examples that I just gave you, those are the type of things that you would compromise. And guys, I'm sorry I look a little crazy today. I'm seeing myself, and I literally didn't put on any makeup. It's snowing. I'm in like 3 to 7 inches here. So now we're going to go on. Number 4 is you want to be vulnerable. Like, oh my God, this generation, like from the I could even give it like the last year of 89. The last year of 89 up until the kids born in, let's just say 2000. 89 to 2000. Boy, they got their guard up so high. What happened in the era? What was in the water that we was drinking? Because I'm a part of that. And it's like nobody wants to be seen for the deeper them. They only want to be taken at face value. You want to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. You have to teach yourself and open yourself up to be vulnerable while falling in love if you want your relationship to perspire and turn into that lifetime thing with a lifetime partner. All right, so I'm almost out of here. Number 5, and this is the most realistic. Like, number 5, This is the most realistic. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to have to break it down in 2 ways. Number 5 is there is a possibility that you might get your heart broken. But you just have to be ready for that. You have to be ready because love is a risk. Love is not guaranteed. People break up for many reasons, and I remember a song from Lil Wayne, and this always gets in my head, and I feel like people should remember this too, is to never get too comfortable. Things that come from a heartbreak are anger, sadness, resentment, relief, confusion. So in order to avoid all of this, you want to take your relationship one day at a time. And with taking it one day at a time means you're not going to for tat. You're not holding on to what happened yesterday. We're not being petty from 3 months ago. We're not picking trouble and fights from a year ago. We are taking our relationship day by day, and we are loving each other with every new breath and every new day. So when I say there's a possibility that you might get your heart broken, I want to go back to that because people have many relationships. Like if you think about it as realistically as possible, everybody doesn't have that high school sweetheart that turned into their beautiful wife and their beautiful family like LeBron James and Savannah or Steph Curry and Aisha. Like not everybody has that. And for those who do, God bless you. But for those who don't, you tend to end up being in more than one relationship. You tend to end up telling more than one other person that you love them. You understand what I'm saying? And so it is all a risk. And so nobody tells you that when you first get into these things and when you first fall in love. But if you keep those 5 things in mind, I believe that you will just have a more successful and a more level-headed relationship that's really going to go far and go places. So listen, you're watching I'm Just Saying with Jasmine Cheyenne. I'm checking out for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great one.